better to capture. So here we are, we're in with the Guardian Laser Sentinel work. I'm sure we will all perceive it in a unique way. The purpose is to focus intensely with those from the galactic world beyond the PTO, including the PTO, but focus intensely like the laser blasting broadcaster to eliminate, to really put into dust energy any residue, as well as taking the energy of parasitics continuing back to its home source. And it's not necessarily to go to cause unless you're taken to cause, that's fine too. Um, and also the intent is to focus on something specific, a situation, an organization, an issue. And we have made it very clear that we are any of the divine family soul essence that is in anything that we focus on is absolutely like moved into an angelic realm, but with the angelic realm as in protected, loving space, kind of leaving behind the shell that is absolute parasitic formed. And so the soul energy of our families are not in the mix. And we might continue to refine that as we go along, but our intention is to do absolutely no harm to the divine family and to absolutely eliminate all that is entrenched, residual, anchored, more in with greater laser focus intensity of the outsiders. And before I set the space, if there's anything else any of you want to kind of add to that intention or questions about it, we will. And we're here for a half hour. So we're going to do just, we're claiming the space we've created of sovereignty, of authority, of presence of divine feminine and our divine family's energy force. That's the space we gather in, as we call it, sacred ground sovereignty. We are connected to beings that we have worked with who are part of this new project and a part of that plan of extinction of outsider influence energy presence forms. And we're here to do our part, which is mainly the focus and the declaration. That's our circle, and it is set, and so it is. So let's go around, and if there is a specific focus, because we haven't decided for our second circle, we haven't determined if we're all going to focus on one, or if we bring to this and we each focus on what we are called to focus on, or has been brought to our attention, using the energy of the entire circle. But let's hear from each of you where you're at in this circle work and what particular issue, organization, or whatever you feel you want to focus on this evening. We'll popcorn, well, not popcorn, we'll tag around, that goes faster. Audrey, would you like to start?
Sure, thank you. I'll pick one. Of course, the one that is big for me is the Vatican and the child sexual abuse, and the ending of it, the illumination of what's really going on, and the dismantling of it all. And I tag Cinda.
I think I'll pass. And I'll go to Emma.
Today is International Holocaust Day, Holocaust Remembrance Day. And there was a crowd of about 30 vehicles who pulled up in front of two well-known Jewish politicians in a particular geographic area with Trump signs and a lot of yelling and screaming and hate and saying you basically kneel before Christ or die. And so to do that today is it's a real specific target. And so I'm using that situation as a surrogate for all oppression and violence based on a belief of otherness. And I will tag Arlie.
I want to focus on all of the energy around Omicron, and use specifically Omicron, which has just started to spread here in New Zealand, as a surrogate for Omicron everywhere. And I will choose Deborah.
The thing that's on my mind today is the 100,000 Russian troops that are massing on the Ukrainian border, and the whole bullying an autocratic country trying to take over a democratic country and trying to bully other nations into what they want them to do, like no NATO, or you can't come in and you can't do this, and we can do what we want, but you can't do anything. So that whole just bully, domineering energy around Ukraine. That's focused on Ukraine, but. And Sharon?
Yeah, I want to bring in the focus of continuing focus of removing the power of females in any area of their life, as it represented with the ERA for sure, but for sure the abortion policy in our country, and and the surrogating is also what we want to make sure we include in that. Our intention, whatever we focus on, is a surrogate in all time, space, dimensions, worlds, reality, or experiences, not just in this one. That we surrogate the entire web, entire. So I think my feeling is that it's really powerful for each of us to focus on what we focus on, knowing that the energy of the group, this group, and the groups that are with us will move through each one of us into those spaces, rather than choose one. Is anybody in not agreement with that? Okay. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to go into the stillness, the silence, the breath, and each in your own way, do what you do. And when we come out, maybe, we're not going to share deeply because we got a half hour. But if there's a word to anchor, maybe that's what we'll come out with. So whatever process you use, that focus, then you might even be shown another way, another process, which is great. Any questions? Okay. So I'm going to turn my video off. So as we are here, as this focused circle called together by our galactic council collectives and those teams in spirit who know, this circle is filled and connected with secure channels to those teams, to those groups. The energy flowing through each one of us is the total capacity of all that is. And all that we focus on is a surrogate for the entire webbed time, space, dimension, world, experience, lifetime is all included. It is all present in this moment. And so it will be as we do our work. So I thought I'd read again where we have begun that laser broadcasting toward the Vatican, specifically towards sexual abuse, at that being, all of these being simply the surrogate point, the Holocaust, all the judgment and blame and anger and hate toward other ways of being, the Omicron and all that that represents, the buildup on the Ukrainian border and all that that represents, and the policies that are being made to further entrap, take away the female body, which is representative of our all that we are. So let's, if there's something you want to add to the circle before as we close, let's just go around, and let's go around tag style too, okay? Emma.
What I saw were people putting down the signs and becoming very confused about why they were there. And I had an image of broken jail bars. And so I focused on that for 17 seconds and saw all the women and all the goddesses opening up and all the souls from the family of light coming out of there. And then after the 17 seconds, it closed. And the parasitics that were kept there were then sent back to their home of origin. Then I picked 2 cards. So I got the 9 of Swords, which is waking up from a nightmare. And then the 6 of Swords, which is crossing over based on new beliefs to a new land. So I felt like this was a very positive experience. Cindy, do you want to take a turn?
It was so empowering to, I focused on all of our comments and did the protocol, that Sharon has taught each of us. And it was so empowering, as a sovereign being in a female bodysuit, I have the authority to, and anything less than this is unacceptable. I mean, I love the concept of this laser focus. I love the concept of, there's no time to play small. It is done, over with. I see it gone. I see it dissolve. Same thing, Emma, where people are all of a sudden, once the outsider influence gone, they're looking around going, what just happened? I spent a lot of time, for me, is, in the right for a woman to be responsible for her own body, what Sharon brought in. And I just, it was, nothing else is acceptable. Nothing else is acceptable. It's none of our business, but a woman has a right to maintain her health in any way she feels she needs to do that. It's none of our, anyway. So powerful. I am so glad I'm here. Thank you, Sharon. And Deborah.
Thanks. Well, I didn't see like the towers or it coming from Earth, but the group said, no, we're going to send it from their place, wherever there is, and saw it coming down and covering like all of what used to be the USSR and all of that whole area and farther. And it was just turning things black, and it was going to like crumbly dust, but it was like really sooty, dark stuff. And then there were little points of light that started appearing. That's what happened. So, Arlie.
I asked that all parasitic influence be removed from the Omicron virus, and felt very powerful response to that. Saw the world, saw energy, the virus, what I'm not even sure what I saw, but definitely the word that came to me was removed. The parasitic energy is removed from the Omicron virus. They wanted to leave the virus itself, not get rid of the virus, but it's like a cold virus, a regular virus, it's just another virus without the super negative energy that was just in white light incinerated. So I would like to choose Audrey.
Oh, started that they were just pulling files and shining lights and running things in everywhere, media. And then this big light came down over Vatican City, and Yeshua came in and Mary Magdalene came in, and I was like, look what they did. They corrupted your teachings. And it was just the words Kyrie eleison kept on going through my head, Kyrie eleison. And it really is about dismantling feminine divine. That's what this has been about from the beginning with this. And the energies, I felt them, and it's like they surrounded me and us, not letting anything in. Saying we have you all. We have you all safe. You're standing in your sovereignty, and you own that sovereignty. And it was really about dismantling women. Sharon?
What I felt to do is get my drum. So I did a lot of drumming. It was like the golden dragons have really been around a lot in the last couple of days coming with Gaia. And what I saw was as focusing into that fractal symbol, which was a lock, not a key, but the lock, focusing in there, and it was as if the energy went in from the earth, it awakened it within the earth, and the energy started to push up from within the earth what's been hidden, and bringing it up to the surface to be dissipated. And so that's where I was. So I'm really glad we're doing this. So thank you for showing up, and love you guys till we see you again.
Thank you, Sharon, as always.
Same with all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Izzy.
Thanks.
Good night.